He played for 8 major league teams during his professional career, including the Tampa Bay Rays, Chicago Cubs, Boston Red Sox. Former major leaguer Carlos Peña is on the line. Carlos, how are you today?
Doing great. Really excited to be with you, Max, and just to share a little bit about me with everyone. I'm really looking forward to meeting everyone pretty soon. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, we should put this into context. Start with the nutso topic that is Major League Baseball. Like the NFL and the NBA before them, they're all in on globalizing the sport, and you will be competing in a home run derby in Hyde Park, London on July the 4th. It sounds pretty crazy. When you received that phone call telling you the news, did you think it was a prank?
Pretty much. I was like, wait a second. Okay, can you please repeat that one more time? Home run derby in London. I'm like, what? But, once we got talking about it, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this is really, 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 really cool. And wow, things are just just in place for something really exciting coming up. And yes, all we want to do is promote this beautiful game of baseball, get everyone in the whole entire UK excited about this awesome game, the game of baseball.
How do you think this is going to look? Have you been to London before?
Yes, I've been there once before with my wife, and it's absolutely gorgeous. We love London. It's beautiful. One of our favorite destinations. We love traveling. So when we went by London, we didn't want to leave, to be honest with you. So when they said, okay, there's going to be a home run derby in London, I'm like, well, I'm definitely not complaining about going back to London. I love London. Now, you add a little baseball to that just makes it even better. So looking forward to it. Really, it's going to be so exciting, so much fun.
Hey, and it's taking place as part of the British Summertime Festival. That means you're going to have to compete with Justin Bieber for your time. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I guess so, but you know what? I'll take him. I'll take Justin, Hey, it's all good. I know he, it's not too late to say I'm sorry, you know what I mean?
Wow, look at you. You can tell you've got kids, or are you a fan of his music?
I got kids.
So Bieber's number one.
That song pretty much every single day on the radio. Okay.
Oh man, so Daddy Peña is number 2 behind Justin Bieber in the household, is he? Man.
No, I look forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. I mean, I think that during the music festival, just everyone together and just enjoying. Having a good time. Not only music, arts. It's something that brings everyone close together, and at the same time, that's the same thing that baseball does. Here in America. So we can't wait to share it with the Brits and the whole entire UK.
So I'm in a boring studio. Can you describe your surroundings right now? Because it sounds pretty fun where you are.
Yeah. Well, specifically right now, I'm in Dominican Republic. This is where I'm from. And if I look across ahead, I'm just staring into the Caribbean Sea. I'm actually on a beach, Juan Dolio, Dominican Republic, and the kids are playing soccer on the sand, and just having a wonderful time. We love it here. This is a great place, Max. You should come over and really take it all in. And I'll say that for everyone. You should come visit Dominican Republic. I think you fall in love with it.
There you go. Carlos Peña, open invitation to everyone in the UK. You're going to have a lot of cooking to do. Listening to major leaguers tell stories is one of my favorite hobbies because they always have so many. You just said you grew up in the Dominican. Baseball's a religion over there, but you adapted the game slightly as a youngster. How did you play baseball originally?
It was crazy because really the first time I played organized baseball was when I was 10 years old. And in many cases, you would say that's late. In the United States, kids start playing t-ball, coach pitch, and they go up the ranks ever since they are 4 or 5 years old. I started playing organized baseball when I was 10 here in Dominican Republic. But the thing is that I was playing street baseball ever since I remember I could walk. So we're out there with my buddies, and we will pitch to each other. We have a game actually that you would find very interesting because it's called La Plaquita, which is pretty much cricket, just modified to fit in the streets. I used to play that game. We used to play caps, which is a game where you grab the cap of a water tank, really, of a water jug, and you use it as a frisbee, and you hit it with a broomstick. So you could understand how difficult that is and how much hand-eye coordination you need. That was a game that we played pretty much all the time. So I guess I got a lot of training. I didn't know it was training. I was just having fun. But now I could honestly tell you that every single major leaguer from the Dominican Republic, right now playing, active and retired, doesn't matter, played La Plaquita, which is that cricket game, and also played caps, which is the one I just explained. So think about that as training. You know, these guys, all these superstars that you see today playing, guaranteed played the version of cricket here in the Dominican Republic and also played the caps version that I just gave you. So I got incredible training since I was a little kid. But organized baseball, when I was 10 years old, that would be late in the United States.
So how does La Plaquita work, and what does that mean?
Okay, so we call it La Plaquita simply because, let me tell you what we do. We grab a plate, a license plate from a car, which is a tag. We grab it, we take it out of the car, we take it off, and usually the car, wasn't ours. So
you stole it. There you go. First rule of La Plaquita: steal a license plate.
No, we were trying to find ones that were like out of date or something, and they were in the junk jar somewhere. And we used to grab them, and then what we do was we would bend them in a way that they would stand. They would stand on the ground, and this would be exactly what you use in cricket. What what you try to knock down in cricket, it's basically what we try to knock down. That's La Plaquita. And if you can imagine the same setup, 2-on-2, at this point, we played on the street, so we didn't have the luxury of like a wide field. So imagine just a street, and we would put two of these plates down, and the hitter's job was to protect it. The pitcher's job was to knock it down. So basically with a bat, you would protect your plate, and every time you hit him, while the fielders went after the ball and chased it, we would just run. And every time you ran and touched the other guy's plate would be 2 runs. It would go 2, 4, 6. It's kind of difficult to explain. I mean, if I could show you in a video, which hopefully you'll be able to see soon. I think I sent one over as we are doing this MLB UK and promoting the game of baseball. You'll be able to see it. But, man, we will play that all day, Max. I mean, this thing was like the thing we did and really, really helped us become, it helped me become a better baseball player in the Major League. So what is crazy is that this is it's very similar to cricket. So you see all those awesome cricket players that you have over there. They already have a good foundation as far as hand-eye coordination is concerned to become professional baseball players. So wouldn't it be cool to see someone cross over and actually come from cricket and actually play baseball?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I think it could be done.
I think we're going to find out because we've got Alex Hales and Josh Butler, who England international cricket players, at this Hyde Park Home Run Derby. So we're going to see what they're made of. And you mentioned the lack of width in the game of La Plaquita. Did that help you in terms of hitting straight up the middle, straight up the field, back towards the pitcher?
Exactly. See, in baseball, we always taught that it's important to make sure we stay very linear. So we want to hit towards the pitcher. The ball's coming at you. You want to hit it right back where it came from. The reason being is because there's a lot of timing involved in this game of baseball, hitting. And if you're able to at least, have an aiming point that is neutral, right back where it came from, then let's say you're a little late, the ball will leave your bat just slightly to the left of where it was pitched from. And if you were a little early, the ball will be leaving the bat slightly to the right, vice versa if you're a right-handed hitter. I'm a left-handed. And those are great hits because they are in fair territory in baseball. So it was great training because that is very key. It's actually one of the principles, that never change. Every single major league coach would tell you, hey, let's hit this ball right back up the middle. It's very important to stay linear, to stay square. And that's exactly what we were doing when we were kids. We needed to hit the ball back in the street because if it went to the side, it was like in someone's house or underneath something, we couldn't get it, and the game would stall until we could retrieve that ball, and we didn't like stalling. We wanted to play.
Man, and you got me intrigued now because you said that every guy that currently plays or has played from the DR played this game. So that brings me to David Ortiz. Have you ever spoken to him about this game?
David Ortiz played La Plaquita 100%. And not once, not twice. I'm talking about almost like an everyday occurrence. I mean, we could go up and down. I mean, David Ortiz is a superstar, Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer when he's eligible. That's what I'm predicting. If you look at all these superstars right now, Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, all these Dominican, we have the most major leaguers per capita, Dominican Republic. All of them, every single one of them played La Plaquita, which is a form of cricket. That to me is so curious. That whole entire, just how it was for preparation. I know the kids were just playing it for fun, but they're major leaguers today. Impact players, Hall of Famers, and they all played this modified version of cricket. Think about that for a second.
Well, wait, we invented cricket, so I guess, Carlos, you're welcome. You're very welcome.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, yeah. You got to return the favor somehow. No, I'm joking. Hey, what do you think's harder, having watched some cricket clips now? Which sport do you think would be harder to play, cricket or baseball?
It's different. I could not imagine trying to hit a ball that has already bounced. And I saw many of the highlights that I've watched, because obviously I've done now plenty of research just watching the game. Now that I know that I'll be over there this summer, I want to learn as much as I can, from the game. And I'm still learning, But I've seen balls that bounce, and the better hitters, they're able to get their hands like really tight to their bodies and make sure that the bat is perfectly square to the ball, which to me is almost like, are you serious? How in the world do you do that? I mean, do you do it on purpose? I mean, or is this by luck? Because it looks like it's so different. See, in baseball, it's the fact that we have a round bat that makes it more difficult. But we don't have to hit balls to hit the ground. As a matter of fact, if the ball hits the ground, I can let it go, and I'm not penalized for it. And in cricket, if the ball bounces and then you don't protect your area, you don't protect what you're supposed to protect, well, then you're gonna be out. You're gonna be defeated. In baseball, we can let it go. If it bounces, it's a ball to us, and you better come in the zone that we want. So in that sense, it's easier to hit the baseball. Now, where baseball gets challenging is the fact that we have a round bat, and we have to hit a round ball, and we have to hit it square, which is virtually impossible, right?
Sounds hard enough.
I wish I had the cricket bat, though, Max.
Oh, you're going to. We are going to put you in a game with a helmet, some pads. You're going to have to wear a jock strap, and we're going to get you in the middle of a game, and then you can see what it's like. I think the difference with cricket is you really have to learn to stay in, maneuver the ball, and play shots all around the field. I think the misconception cricket players have of baseball is that you just have to smash it for a home run. That's not the case, as we know. But with cricket, it's a lot more tactical, moving the ball around the field, I think.
It's unbelievable bat control. I've seen these guys, and they're really good at it, and they're able to hit the ball in different ways to different places, and it's remarkable to me, the bat control. It's really what catches my attention. I'm like, wait a second. I mean, that's on purpose, and I cannot. It's hard for me to even imagine that type of control when the ball is being thrown and it's unpredictable what the ball's going to do. So it's so it's so fascinating to me, and like you said it, Max. I can't wait to put on all the equipment. And let me tell you something, I'm going to take like 1 million pictures, because the pictures are going to be for the ages. I'm going to keep them so that my grandkids can look at them. It's like, yeah, Daddy played Major League Baseball and cricket.
Well, in England. The worst thing you can do is get out first ball. Make sure you don't get out first ball. That's
no, but
that's like a pop-up, first pitch, pop-up, back to the dugout.
No, I don't like it. I don't like that. No. I'm looking to at least be somewhat of an impact player in cricket. Okay, I want to definitely do it right.
Okay.
Otherwise, why even do it at all?
That's very true. We'll see. Moving on from the cricket side of things. When you were, am I right in saying when you were 12 years of age, you moved to Massachusetts?
Yes, I actually went over to Massachusetts, and that was crazy because we lived in the Dominican Republic, and my father and my parents, mom and dad, they decided to move over to the States. You know, we had the opportunity to take residency in the United States, and it was one of those decisions that they had to make because the opportunity arose. And they said, yes, let's go because it's going to be better for our kids, you know, broaden their horizons and maybe a brighter future for them, which is remarkable to me. My parents actually were very well-established professionals here in the Dominican Republic, and they left all that behind just because they wanted us to have a little bit more latitude, you know, and that to me, you know, that's just self-sacrifice and at the end of the day, pure love. You know, and to this day, I thank my parents for that because, you know, because now I see what I've been able to experience throughout my life. You know, my baseball career, my when I went to school and college and university, and how important it was for me to have the opportunity to be in the States. So that's something that I'll be forever grateful, you know, from my parents. And really, there's nothing I could say or do to show them how grateful I am, except be the best man I could possibly be, and hopefully make them proud.
That's amazing. And I think I just said to you before the show that London is having somewhat of a mini heat wave at the moment, but in Massachusetts in the winter it is very, very cold. So how did you keep playing baseball? Did you keep playing baseball?
That's the first thing I told my father. I'm like, when he said we were going to move, I'm like, God, we can't go to the States. It's cold over there. Because for some reason, I thought New York was the States, you know, because that's the only place I've been to the United States. You know, before I had been there, it was just New York because I had some uncles there. And I'm like, I don't want to go there. It's freezing over there. We can't play baseball over there. And he said, remember that the major leagues are played in the United States. So I was like, oh, that's right. So I guess maybe that's not so bad. Maybe I should go try it. But we arrived in Massachusetts. Like you said, you know, when the winter rolled around, it was insane. And Max, you know, we're a family of 6. We went to another uncle that we had in Massachusetts. We went to his house, and we actually had to stay in the attic at the beginning, which was very, very difficult because we had no heat up there. So very often we would just sleep. We had a mattress, and we all sleep in the mattress. And remember, it's my mom and dad, my other, you know, 3 siblings. So, and we would just sleep in the same mattress, and we wouldn't take our coats off. We wouldn't take our winter gear off. So we would sleep on those things just to stay warm. So that was kind of crazy. At the same time, you know, it was great for the family. We bonded. We going through those struggles at the beginning of our stay in the United States really made us come closer together. And there was a lot of growth there that eventually I was able to draw upon when I was challenged later on in life. So it's like this. I don't regret 1 second of doing that and going through those type of difficulties because that's exactly what shaped me. And maybe whenever I faced these challenges that they did come, I was able to draw from those moments of weakness where I became stronger because I had to overcome. And I think it goes with my brothers will tell you the same thing. My sister will tell you the same thing. So it's something that I would not change whatsoever. The lessons I learned during that difficult time were invaluable. And I'm still drawing from those today. So even though it was difficult, I'm very grateful for those moments.
I saw you're doing some TV work for MLB Network, and I saw a segment on there where you talked about how you used to play with basketballs in the winter because, you know, that would generate a lot more power in the arms. It'd be harder to swing through the ball. Is that something you did when you got there, when you arrived?
Oh, Max, innovation. You know, it's just the bottom line. Where a human being is pushed to the limit in any way, in any form, we always seem to find, or we should, right, find ways to adjust, find ways to profit from whatever situation we may be in. So at that moment. I want to play baseball, but it's like 20 inches of snow outside. What do I do? I was building stuff underground to hit, on the local YMCA where there was no batting cage. I would make a batting cage. I would go into the basketball gym, and this is the drill you're talking about, and I would tell the people in the YMCA was unbelievable, right? It's the youth organization, as we all know. And I would say, hey, can I have 5 basketballs? And they would let me borrow 5 basketballs. And they thought I was just going to go shoot around the basketball on the gym. And eventually what we did was hit them. And this is one of the most, effective power drills that you could possibly do. Because if you think about it, when you hit a basketball, you feel this force and really wants to knock the bat off your hands. But instead, you just drive through. You drive through the basketball, and it's kind of heavy, and imagine all your muscles that you utilize to hit at contact get engaged. Your wrist, your forearms, your core, your legs get all engaged, and not only that, at contact you feel that impact, but then you have to push through. When you go hit a baseball, which is arguably 3 times, maybe even 4 times lighter, that feels lighter than a basketball. I mean, you could imagine how much force you would be delivering to the baseball when you make contact. So it's truly one of the drills that I kept on doing throughout my baseball career, even when I was a Major League Baseball player. I just kept on using it because it was extremely effective.
So we've established so far then, Carlos, at the age of 12, you had stolen hundreds of Plaquita license plates and destroyed all the YMCA basketballs.
This guy's a menace to society.
Wow. How did you stay out of trouble?
No, man, that's outstanding. When we moved over to Massachusetts, I have to say, it was not the best part of town, you know what I mean? And there were many ways that we could have gone into serious trouble. But Mom and Dad were so good about, hey guys, look, these are your choices, either you want to do something, you have to go to the Y. But otherwise, you're not going to be outside right now because obviously, it's just not safe. And there were a lot of, unfortunately, the area we lived in, there were a lot of drugs, a lot of crime being out there, a lot of youth getting in trouble and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. But Mom and Dad were very clear with us. And, wow, by the grace of God, we were kids that listened. And I think it's just our upbringing. Whatever Mom and Dad spoke, even though maybe we did not like it, we knew that it was best for us, so we just obeyed. And to this day, Max, I mean, I told you I thank my parents all the time, but, I get specific about it. I'm like, Dad, you remember when you told me not to go to this party, per se? Thank you for that. Thank you. I obeyed you, but I got to say that I was a little upset with you because I couldn't understand why you wouldn't let me go. Now I understand. I have 3 kids now. Now I understand, and I thank you for that. So I get specific with that. That used to be a very good and encouraging me. For example, when I started playing organized baseball, we out there and I have pitchers pitching to me. For some reason, Max, I couldn't hit the ball. I just couldn't. It was just, let's put it this way, too organized for me. What I mean? When
you got to the US, you mean?
When I started playing organized ball when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And I'm like, I wasn't good. I was not good on a official baseball field. I needed to be on the streets.
What changed?
And
what was so different about it?
It was too structured, and I had a pitcher on a mound, and I had the baseball field, and I had the catcher with equipment behind me, and I had a bat instead of a stick. It was silly, but I could not perform. And Dad, but I was 10 years old, so it's like, whatever Dad says, right? And when Dad just kept encouraging me, saying stuff like, wow, that was a great swing, even though I didn't hit the ball, or that was a great foul ball, even though I didn't hit the ball in the fair territory or forward, he would say, wow, you hit that ball backwards so hard.
Great foul ball.
Right? It's a great foul ball. And I thank Dad today. My father said, Dad, you know what? Thank you so much for that. I believed you. When you said that was a great foul ball, I believed you, and it made me want to come back the next day. And
you certainly need this kind of support when you play cricket, then, because if you do a real bad job, you're gonna be loved for it.
I should be able to take it a little bit better than when I was 10 years old. Now that I'm, now that I'm 25, I should be able to take it a little bit, a little better. I'm more mature now.
I hope so. But with those life lessons that they taught you, and it's really interesting to hear you talk about it. When you were drafted in '98 to the Texas Rangers, you played at all three minor league levels: single A, double A, triple A, which is, I guess, not every player does that. But what was the eye-opening moment that you had grafting in the minor leagues, and then when did you implement those lessons that you'd learned in Massachusetts, sleeping in that one room? What did that go through your mind at all?
Immediately, as soon as I signed, I was exposed to the fact that all of a sudden I'm by myself. I'm on my own. I'm out in Savannah, Georgia, and I'm playing for the Savannah Sangnats, which is the minor league low A, which is the category I was playing at the moment in minor leagues, their ball club. And I get there, and I'm like, wow, I have no place to stay. And I'm like, who do you call? Well, you have to figure it out. I remember sleeping, for example, on the floor that day of a buddy's apartment because it was packed. A lot of players were like renting at the same time. And I'm like, wait a second, this is crazy. Like, hey man, you need to get organized. And immediately I'm like, okay, this is the real deal. I mean, you are in an organization right now, but nobody's going to put anything on a platter for you. You still have to fight for it. So even just living arrangements were something that maybe I didn't think about. But all of a sudden, I'm on my own, and I have to make sure that, hey, okay, I have an apartment. Do I have an apartment to stay in? Do I have to, make sure that my meals are square, make sure that I'm getting the proper nutrition if I'm going to be training so hard. And it's like all of a sudden you have to grow up faster, because at that moment I was just 20 years old, and I just got out of college, which is a slight reality, a slight taste of reality, but still not reality. And now the challenges were a little bit more in my face. It's like, hey, either you take care of yourself or no one will at this moment. So let's go. So even immediately when I signed, it got harder before it got easier. But then you get a hang of it, you get into a routine, and I just pretty much cruised through the levels. I did pretty well. And perform really well. And at those days, they wouldn't rush a prospect. So I spent time in low A, high A, double A, triple A, and finally the major leagues. And I guess that's what you would call seasoning. I got a lot of seasoning, and I guess I was ready in 2001 when I got the call.
Do you see minor league players when you were there, teammates? Those long bus rides. There's no charter flights. The food isn't always the best. The motels. Did you see any faces that suggested, I want to quit? I'm 20 years old, and this is not what I expected.
No doubt about it, Max. Many times, especially when you start struggling, because remember, this is the first time you're going to play baseball every single day. So you have to show up, even if you had a bad game last night, and even if you have two games in a row where you were pretty much overmatched, or you felt ashamed because of your performance, you still have to show up. So the ability to brush off, leave behind the past, and then come back and be in the present and bring the best of yourself in the present, that's an art, and not only for baseball, for any sport for that matter, in life, right? In life, it's such an important lesson to learn. It's the fact that we cannot carry the past, we can't carry the past with us and just keep all that weight on us. We have to be able to brush ourselves off and just start off fresh every single day. And wow, in baseball, you better know how to do that, or you will succumb, you will break down, and you will quit. It's just the bottom line. It's every single day. And the minor leagues were a 142-game season. So imagine doing this for 142 games straight, with maybe a day off here and there. But it's like when a boxer gets in the ring and they start getting punched and you're looking for the bell to ring, but the clock is just winding down too slowly. Many times I felt that way in the minor leagues, and you have to dance around the ring, do whatever you can to survive until you get to catch your breath. Very, very challenging, but I was able to endure, and then it was all worth it. Looking back on it, it was a beautiful experience.
Throughout your career, though, did you ever have anything food-wise from the Dominican or some sort of good luck charm? Was there anything that you carried with you or needed for these long seasons?
No, really, I wasn't superstitious per se. One of the things that's very important for me, man, it's just my faith. I come from a family who believes, in God, and my mom used to always say before I used to walk out of that apartment before I got signed, when I went to the Y. Every time I left the house, she says, "Hey, make sure that every single day that you walk out there, that you keep in mind that your strength comes from God." And I'll tell you what, that has been an anchor for me for all the days of my life. And I still, to this day, I don't leave the house understanding that there is a higher power that really just carries me, and that is key for me. It makes me fight harder. It makes me just go with metal to the floor every single day. I don't ease up, because I know that God is with me. So I would say that was key, because in the moments of weakness, that's exactly what I do. You want to quit. And I'm like, no, man, you need to finish this race, and you're going to finish with dignity, so let's go. And I would get up in the morning, even though I didn't want to. I had an 0-for-4 game with 4 strikeouts that, hey, I have to show up today, and I have to give my best. Very difficult. See, the stadium is filled, 50,000 fans, and you have those type of games where it's, it's shameful, 4 strikeouts, and many times I even have to get up a 5th time, so you could imagine that I was staring down that 5th strikeout. Imagine, what do you draw strength from? Well, my faith was key in all these moments.
You've already reiterated, and I'll get through the last few questions here, Carlos. You've already iterated that Tampa Bay was one of your favorite spots to play, probably the best time of your career. You had a great year in 2007, 46 home runs. But what I really want you to tell the listeners is the story about when you were bit in the sea before a game.
That is awesome. Let me tell you one thing. Okay. The Tampa Bay Rays is an organization that's been around for years now, over a decade. I don't know. It's a young organization, but I'm not sure exactly how many years it has, but I would say maybe 15, 16, maybe even 20 years already. Young organization. Well, let me tell you, there's only been one true Ray. And you know who the one true Ray is? I am. And I want to tell you exactly why. All right? I did have my best years in Tampa, okay? Went to the World Series, led the league of home runs, modesty aside. Went to an All-Star game, Silver Slugger, whatever you want. You can call them all the Gold Glove, whatever, all the awards. But let me tell you exactly why I'm a true Ray. Besides the fact that I just loved being there, right? And I really wore that jersey with pride. I actually got bit by a Ray. So I have Ray poison in my veins right now. So just like Spider-Man.
You are a Ray for life.
I am a Ray for life. So I'm out there one morning, because I used to do this. This was my routine. I used to go out jogging every single morning before the game at the beach, because that's where I lived, on the beach. And then when I was done with my jog, my wife and my daughter at the time will come down. And my daughter was the only one that was born at that time. My son Nicolas and Mateo were born maybe a few years later. But I'm sitting there and I'm jogging. Now it's time for me to go in the water after a nice jog. And when I'm in the water, my wife and daughter are down there. I feel something stab my foot. And I'm talking about pain shot up through my leg. I was like, whoa, what was that? When I get out of the water, I see that I have like a wound on my foot. And there's an entry wound and an exit wound. And I'm like, this is crazy. When I started to complain to my wife, my leg started to go numb. I'm like, my leg is going numb.
Did she tell you to stop whining?
Well, she started laughing. I was like, no, I'm serious. And she's like, wow, you serious? I'm like, yes. So she calls 911, And now all the emergency vehicles start coming over, and they get to the beach, and they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, my leg is numb. I just got stabbed by something. And they're like, you got bit by a stingray. That's what it is. I'm like, yeah. They're like, is it tingly? I'm like, yes, it's tingling. So that's a stingray. And they put my foot in a bucket of warm water and soap. I guess that's the remedy. And slowly but surely, like an hour later, I could see my leg come back, the feeling on my leg come back. But now, guess what? I have to go to the stadium. I have a game that night. So I get to the stadium. My leg's still kind of tingling slightly. And I'm like, wow, I still feel weird, you know? I don't feel normal, but, you know, I can play. And I don't want to tell the doctors of the team because they'll be like, what are you doing out there swimming, you know, whatever. So I didn't say anything. Well, I went out there that day, Max, and I hit 2 home runs. And
wow.
And my wife, we having the hugest laugh, and that's when I actually said it, that I got bit by a stingray, because I hit 2 home runs, so I could say it, right?
You know what, Carlos? Shades of Kirk Gibson, one-legged up to the plate, smashes it out of the park.
Exactly. Man, I told everybody after the fact. I was like, yeah, I got bit by a stingray this morning. And they thought I was joking. It's like, I'm serious. I'm not joking. And I hit 2 home runs that day. So, needless to say, every other morning, I was out there trying to get bit by a stingray again. I wanted to go. If it's going to be the trade-off, get stabbed by a stingray and hit 2 home runs, I would trade it. It's fine.
Yeah,
I was able to do it. Yeah,
and you knew the antidote was a bucket of soap and water, so that's fine.
Exactly. I would have that as a routine, a pregame routine. Get bit by a stingray, suck a bucket of soap and warm water, then go hit 2 home runs. I'll do that every single day.
You would have been a Hall of Famer, Carlos, if the stingrays had to come out every day.
But then they come by season. So as soon as the month went by, there weren't that many stingrays anymore. See, I actually know, because you think I'm joking. I was for real. I was trying to get bit again.
Well, the way the team used to be called, the Devil Rays, is that? Why is that? Is that because Rays are devil? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a species of ray that used to be called that, and then this is incredible, you know, because the whole entire story of how you became a ray, it's ridiculous. You know, I had gone through some tough times in 2006. And then in 2007, I got invited to go to the training camp. So I wasn't even guaranteed. And the truth is that I didn't even make the team. I went home after spring training. And the reason why I got a call was because one of the players got hurt. You know, I was really positive. I was really, you know, maintained an incredible focus, even despite the fact that I had just gotten release. And I got a call saying that one of the first basemen during that game got hurt, and they needed a first baseman because the season started in 2 days. And I was like, really? I was like, okay, fine, let's sign again. I signed again with the Devil Rays, and that's how I got on the team. I didn't even play the first month of April until finally, because of another injury, I got more playing time, Max, and I just went off in 2007. I ended up hitting 46 home runs with 121 RBI. And got comeback player of the year, and it was like a bunch of franchise records and things like that. But just think for a second how it happened. I wasn't even on the team to begin the year.
But how do you explain a turnaround like that? Is it just a case of seeing the ball better? You feel like it was? Did you feel like it was your last shot to really prove yourself?
You know, there's something to that, because this is the thing. I don't think I could replicate that type of feeling. Remember where I was. I was in my couch in my house without a team when I got the call. So I was coming to terms with the fact that I was not playing baseball. And then I get this call. So you could imagine how I felt once I had the jersey of the Devil Rays on. I felt like I was in heaven. I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm playing with house money here. That's kind of the feeling that I got. So go out. You have nothing to lose in the whole entire world to gain. And that attitude, you know, really, it was not me trying to press it upon myself mentally. It's really where I was. And look what ended up happening. I just exploded. And, you know, it doesn't matter how much harder I tried to replicate that type of mentality, you couldn't. I couldn't, because everything was so precisely orchestrated, So at least I learned that having that type of mental state and that type of relaxed focus where you want to become and perform and become the best performer in the world, but at the same time you're not afraid to risk it all on the precipice, That type of mentality cannot be faked. But at the very least, it could be pursued. So that's what I tried to do years after that, and I ended up having a great time over there in Tampa, including a World Series appearance pretty much the very next year when they became the Tampa Bay Rays and they dropped the devil and everything changed. It was great.
The Tampa Bay Stingrays. And you said Joe Madden was your manager then. Do you have a story about Joe Madden that I wouldn't know about?
Joe's one of these guys that it's so loose. He's such a player's manager, and one of the greatest stories is the fact that I'm getting to the park, and I'm getting to the park with sand on my feet. I got my sandals on. I just came from the beach because that's, like I told you, that was my routine every morning. And some guys were like, "Oh, Carlos, what are you doing?" And I kind of like felt a little ashamed, at the moment. I was like, "Oh my goodness, did I do something wrong?" You know what I mean? Because I felt like maybe I shouldn't go to the beach in the morning. Seriously, I'm dead serious. I was like questioning myself. Maybe it's not proper for me to do that. And Joe caught a gist of that and interrupted me. Pretty much interrupted me. He goes, "Carlos, listen to me. I need you to keep going to the beach every single morning. And if you get here before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to be really upset at you." I'm like, wait a second. You're trying to tell me not to get here early? I'm like, 3 o'clock is early. We don't start working out until 4:30. I just don't want you here at 1. What are you going to do, play cards? I don't want you here playing cards and wasting your time. I want you to be with your daughter and your wife at the beach every morning. That's what I want you to do. Then at 3 o'clock, show up so you have enough time to, put on your uniform and just get loose for our workout. I was like, this guy's got to be joking, But what was he doing? He was just trying to encourage me so I could be in that place, in that relaxed state. And man, I had great years with Joe because that was his mentality. He was all about what is it that really matters instead of all these worthless traditions at times that really hold us back. So he blew my mind when he said that, and I can see why he has kept on having a lot of success.
I read the book about the Cubs World Series championship. Tom Verducci wrote The Cubs Way, and there was a great chapter about Joe Madden and how he drives cross country in his caravan with his wife to this day from Florida across the country, and how his dad, who's passed away years ago now, he's got a hat that he used to wear that he has in the dugout with him, and he was showing it out when the Cubs won the World Series. And he seems like, you see all the times with the Cubs team, they dress up. When they went to the West Coast this season, they dressed up. Was there a time when you did that as well, when you went on the road and you got to put your best suit on?
Oh man, we dressed in so many different ways, and that's exactly what he was trying to accomplish, is just loosen up the ball club. Kind of like let's get out of those parameters and limits that you set on yourselves. See, I'm not concerned about that stuff. I'm not bogged down by all these things that don't really matter. What I really need is you guys to come to play. I need you guys to be happy. I need you guys to be ready to go, and I'm not going to hold you guys down. So that was his way of saying, guys, have fun and play the game. At the end of the day, we're just grown men playing a kid's game. And the only way you're going to have success is if you are able to really enjoy it on a daily basis. And really, when you're enjoying it, then that's when your talent will be able to express itself freely. And that's what Joe accomplishes. I mean, he gets the best out of his players.
Carlos, I got 2 more for you, then you can go and order a pina colada, okay? You played for the Red Sox and the Dodgers, but where would you rather call home, Fenway Park or Wrigley Field?
Fenway Park, man. Fenway Park has just all these. I mean, look, Wrigley was unbelievable, but Fenway Park was amazing. Just simply because I went to school in Boston, I dreamt about the Red Sox, and that park. I even got to play for the Red Sox for a little bit, And just the smell of that place, you could smell the pine tar, the stuff that we put on the bats. You could smell the grill. We could smell the hops of the beer. I could smell popcorn, peanuts. It was unbelievable. It was so vivid to me. So that I would actually be at first base during the game, and I would just take in a deep breath because I wanted to take in the smells of that place, the history of that place. And it always was this incredible, out-of-this-world experience when I stepped on Fenway Park. And you just think, of all the greats that have played in this cathedral of baseball. Wow.
That's amazing. It's my favorite stadium that I've been to. Okay, last one. You've sent me some workout videos for our MLB UK videos in the gym. Pull-ups, push-ups, weight work. I gotta say, and I don't want to sound creepy here, but you are pretty jacked. Are you working out harder now than you did as a pro? Because it looks like you are.
Max, that is absolutely the truth. I've been I don't know what's been going on, but I think it has to do with that type of mentality that I just been discussing throughout the call. That I don't want to give in. I just want to keep on extending myself and see how far I can push my body or my mind. So I can't sit still, Max. I'm always working out, trying to figure out how many pull-ups in a row I can do. How many. How fast can I do this circuit and still feel in control? How much can I run and still be strong enough to bust out my 20 pull-ups and then go back and sprint again and then go back and bust 20 pull-ups, and I want to figure that out. And whenever I find that limit, I train to then overcome it, and really just go past what I just did and accomplished. So in many ways, I'm actually training harder than I used to when I played, and I'm loving every single second of it. Just simply because I think it's just in my spirit. It's just to be a fighter, love sports, and really just push not only my body to the limit, but my mind to the limit. It's just the way I'm wired.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing those big muscles being utilized in a game of cricket in about 3 weeks' time. So everyone's got to come down to see you on July the 4th, Hyde Park in London. It's gonna be fun.
I can't wait, buddy. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to this, and it's just going to be great for baseball, and I think it's going to be awesome for the United Kingdom as a whole, and London is just going to have a blast. It's going to be awesome. Indeed,
and hopefully you'll meet the Queen. Thank you for your energy and your time tonight. It was really fun, and I guess you're going to go back now and, I don't know, pull-ups at the beach, right?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find somewhere I can hang and start maybe a coconut tree of these. Maybe that would work.
Oh, man. Feed the stereotype.
Thank you, guys. Man, Max, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the time, buddy.
La Plaquita is going to make it to the UK. We're going to make sure Carlos shows all us Brits how to play La Plaquita, and maybe learn some Spanish as well while we're at it. Thank you to Carlos, my guest this week on the US Sports Podcast. If you like what you've heard today, please go onto iTunes, rate, review, subscribe. If you can write some kind words about the show, give me a rating. That would be absolutely fantastic. It really helps promotion of the show to get the word out there about the US Sports Podcast. I really appreciate that. If you'd like to ask me any questions, I'm on Twitter @Max_Whittle.